Okay. Next up is Nancy. Beloved one.
I apologize.
Come on up and tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm married to Edward. He's my vampire husband. And thank you for him leaving my house twice a month. Then I get rid of him.
Oh, right.
Mention your boyfriend,
And I am not a writer. I am an artist and I paint. So this is something a little about me, of my past. Teaching. When I graduated college, I was certified to teach K through 8 general education and certified to teach art K-14. When I got my education degrees, I believed that I was ready for anything. There are 4 styles of learning: visual, oral, verbal, physical. My degree did not prepare me for many of the experience I had as a teacher. On my 3rd year to teaching, I went into the classroom called Art on the Carpet. After giving directions to the kindergartners, Mary Lynn came up to me and said, "Miss Rose, look at what I brought for the movies this afternoon." She handed me a movie. I looked at it, and it was a pretty picture of Snow White on the cover. I read the title and told her I would hold on to it so that it didn't get damaged. She said, "Okay." The title, Snow White and the 7 Dirty Dwarfs, rated X. Very visual. My 34th year of teaching, my first graders entered the art room. After directions, I said, "Okay, begin." The special education children are integrated in art, music, and PE. Marcus, a special ed student with a severe lisp, came up to my desk and said, "Mr. Rosa, here's our Joliet." I said, "Tell me that again, please." And then he pointed to his pants. I said, "Okay, I will send you to the nurse, and she can help you." I sent Marcus to the nurse with a note. "Dear Mrs. Burlington, Marcus' junk is hanging out of his underwear. Said his underwear is too small, and it keeps falling out, and he doesn't like it. Please help him, Mrs. Rose." Oral can be challenging. On my 14th year of teaching, after seeing the buses pull out, I decided to go to the office and hand in my lesson plans. I started to walk out into the art room, out of the art room. A woman ran by me to the back door of the school. I thought, this is strange. Then I saw the police officer yelling, "Stop or I will shoot!" I saw his gun, backed up into the classroom, sat at my desk thinking, okay. 15 minutes later, I went to the office asking, what was that? A student, Marlene Webb, was in the after-school program. In the student's file, it stated, if a woman showed up and asked for Marlene Webb, please call the police. Mom is wanted by the FBI. A very verbal explanation can be started. My 39th year of teaching, I was called to the office. Walking into the office, I said, "Hi, Sam and Joe, 2 of my students." Joe is younger than Sam. The secretary of the office looked at me and said, "Principal Dawson wants to see you. Very serious." As I walked in the principal's office, there were 2 parents, a police officer, and a detective. "Please have a seat," the detective said. "Yesterday I spent 2 hours with this family. Mrs. Rose, we have a complaint about you, and the parents want to charge you with neglect involving their son." What happened yesterday in art, Joe got his cheek cut by another student. Joe asked to go to the nurse. You said, sit down, finish your project, buck up, and be a man. I said, but, no, listen to what we have to say. Then you'll get your chance to speak. After 20 minutes, they asked the parents to sit in the outer office so they could talk to me. The detective said, what do you have to say for yourself, Miss Rose? I said, Joe has art tomorrow. He didn't have art yesterday. The detective looked shocked. He said, what? No way. And went out to speak to the parents of Joe. Sam and Joe confessed. Sam cut his brother's cheek with a branch playing sword fighting. They made up the story so they would not get in trouble. Physical can be challenging. My examples of visual, oral, verbal, physical states of learning are very unusual, but it did make my career as a teacher very interesting.
I don't know why you married him.
Yeah, it's not working.
Did you need it then, or like are you guys doing okay without it, or would you like me to call Dana and get it figured out?
Can you hear okay?
Yeah, it's good.
Can you
Thus far, yes.
I guess we're doing it.
Yeah. We're projecting.
Cool. Okay, if you guys feel like you need it, just let me know. I can put Dana on a call, okay?
All right, thank you.
If you hear it yelling for Banker, just ignore it.
Yeah. Okay, up next, Denise? Oh, Diana's.
Thank you all for inviting me here.
Come on up, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, don't you know you hired me?
Well, we'd like to hear it in your
Oh,
words.
well, okay. My name is Diana Estelle, and I love all you people. But it's a good support group we have here, do we not?
Yes, yes.
Okay, well, see, we do have some issues, but I got hired here to teach people how to be happy and positive while killing. Is this thing going lower? Okay. So we don't know who you are. You're not really sure who you are. We'll talk about Dr. Weapon later on. And let's see. Who else do we have out there? Okay. So let me just start by telling you there are some times when you have to get just really dirty and mean in life, okay? You just have to. So, again, what I was trying to tell you is that I was hired here to be happy and to teach you how to take care of things if you have to kill things. Now, what I'm talking about is household pests. How many of you have had household pests? Show of hands. Show of hands, here. Well, these are demons. They're demons from hell. I had horrible 2 weeks of incessant, pesky, little gnats, flies of all kind. And I'm going to show you guys how I got rid of them. Okay? Again, Dr. Weapon, we may be needing you. Okay? And doesn't that guy kill people?
This guy here, yeah.
It's okay. We're all good here. We're all in a support group. It's fine. Okay, it's really fine. So you could use a standard fly swatter. You know what I mean? You have fly swatters? Okay, you could use strips to catch things. Flies, mosquitoes. And do we have a question back there? It's not time to talk. Lady in the green, do we have a question here?
Me?
Yeah. Did you have a question? It's not time for questions now.
Okay,
Are you menopausal?
I'll wait.
Are you menopausal? I don't want any questions right now. I don't want to deal with any questions right now. Again, why is your hand up? Okay, what do you want to say? Just say it right now so we can be done with it.
What about mice? You know how to kill them?
Can you hire me for another day to deal with mice?
Sure.
All right. We'll deal with mice another day, but that's a really good question. That's a whole nother nightmare. One, I'm a little bit more familiar with rats. Okay, but for now on, keep your hand down.
Okay.
Don't do that. Okay, so again, I talked about the fly swatter. Talked about the strips to put the flies on. Now, this really did happen to me. Okay, really did. We dealt with this thing, these blind things that I swear had colonies. Colonies in our bathroom, colonies in the kitchen, and they would just come up. We don't know if they were coming up from the drain. We had somebody come in and they're like, look, I don't know what to tell you about these creatures. I think they found a home. I'm like, they found a freaking home in my house. So I got creative. And this is what I'm going to tell you guys. I know I'm boring you to tears, but don't worry about it. So I'm just going to deal with it. I took our vacuum cleaner, okay? I got a real long hose. Kirby, does anyone remember Kirby vacuum cleaners? Electrolux, or it doesn't matter what you use, okay? But you really do need to get a vacuum. Now you need to get a vacuum, and it has to have attachments on it, okay? So you go, this literally came to mind. You take the attachment, you take the whole, the attachment, the thing, and you put an attachment on it. You don't want to, wreck the wood or anything like that, okay? Because my husband came to me one day, I know, I didn't say I'll talk about it when we go through. He came to me one day, he said, you know how much money we paid for this wood? And you're going to gouge it? With an attachment, with the metal? Use an attachment. Okay, so I got the attachment on. Went around sucking these bugs up. Okay, I know you're all bored, but just pay attention, okay? Pay attention. Because this may help you one day when you need to be happy and peppy and positive in the house when you're going insane. Okay? I'm serious. This is very serious here. I'm very serious. So you take the attachment, you take the thing on there, whatever you want to use, whatever it is, and you go after these things. And you are relentless. You are a murderer. You are their death trap. Whatever you have to do, you get this thing. Okay? Again, really? Do you need help?
No.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay, so moving on. You take the hose, you take the attachment, you put it on there, and what you got to do is you start swiping them in the air. Okay, so here comes my man, and he says again, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm vacuuming up these pests." Okay, do you have the attachment? Do you have this on? Yes, I had this on. Then what should you do? Is you need to hit them to kind of stir them up, then suck them up. And I'm like, well, that's what I've been doing. No, that's not what you've been doing. You've been taking the attachment, and then you're turning on the lights, stirring up them, and you don't even have this thing ready to go. It's not even cocked. It's not even loaded. Okay? So what I did, are you taking notes? Okay, well, whatever. So you take the attachment, take the hose, and now you have to go really stealthy in there. Tap around to engage them, to stir them up. Then my husband comes back down again. He said, okay, you're doing it all wrong. I'm like, what am I doing it wrong? It's not even plugged in. So what you have to do, you have to plug in the vacuum. Take notes. Plug in the vacuum, take out the attachment, put on your thing, and now you have to turn it on. And now you start like that. That is how you keep sane and happy. Very happy. Very sane. It doesn't really matter what kind of vacuum you have. You can have a canister, As long as it has an attachment, you know, I would have to be pretty long, but I mean, Kirby may work. I don't know, Hoover is pretty good. The fly swatter, not so good. It makes a mess. This one is nice and swift. That's how you remain very happy and peppy. And this was my improv. I just wanted to say it and do something different. I wanted to do something different for the meeting. Dr. Weapon, I got your number.
My swatters don't work for dance.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Have you ever dealt with bed bugs?
Thank God, no.
Bummer. I could have used you. And I'll bet you wouldn't have even charged me $1,000 either. I had my own dealings with bed bugs, and
I'm trying not to say this.
they wanted $1,000 up front, and I just finally paid it off. And I haven't seen any since. So,
It is an issue.
yes, it is.
It's a very deep issue.
Yes, it was. But not for me, not anymore. Okay. Now, Denise, are you ready? Oh, this looks like an L. I thought it said Denille. But I thought, is Denille here?
Yeah.
Okay. Come on up here and
All right.
tell us about yourself.
My name is Denise Barron Unlin. I write and edit stuff. We seem to be on an educational kick because we've had 2 pieces about education, how to tackle these bugs, reminiscences about the classroom. I've given you all some homework, and this piece, because I tried to keep it within time, will actually stop short of the actual lesson. So, hear ye, Helen called from the back of the library, which she had commandeered for the occasion. The Kellen Wexler Finishing School for Young Vampires is called to order. He tied his sleek black hair into a short queue to underscore his authority over his larvae. In one hand, he held an old golden cowbell, which he now rattled with annoying vigor, and in the other, he clutched an antique leather-bound German Bible. A mouth-watering smell hung in the air, reminding Henry, who lay across the rug propped up with his thin hand, that he hadn't eaten nearly enough. The smell was an interesting mixture of blood, sweat, charred oak, beeswax, and tobacco. Thick candlesticks, a few candelabra, a lone oil lamp, and the swaying, snapping flames in the stone fireplace provided the room's only illumination, and even that was for the benefit of the humans only, a compromise of enabling their sight while preventing instant disintegration of the quickened corpses. The school, Henry noted, was small. Just 2 pupils, John Simons and himself, both looking war-starved in suits too spacious for their gaunt frames and consequently unfit for serious study. Not that Henry was taking any of it seriously. John's hollow eyes sank into his skull, and his wrinkled skin sagged on his pallid face. His bony hands draped over the chair arms, for he sat behind his desk, a silent reminder to Kellen, whom he regarded coldly, yet calmly, of the real authority in the room. Henry was even more withered than John and cared even less. Yet unlike John, Henry was smirking, ready to heckle, and hoping Kellen's address to the class was brief. Henry was starving, and he already had his family picked out. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce the school's headmaster, Dr. Edwin Gothard, and his assistant, Dr. Martin Parks. Dr. Gothard lounged near the fire, sucking on his pipe. Dr. Parks occupied the chair opposite his senior, pen and notebook in hand, ready for the lesson to commence. Charmed, Henry said, not bothering to hide the sarcasm in his tone. As lead researcher of the Blood is Life project, Dr. Gothard will ensure your training is thorough and correct, Dr. Gothard said, with a quiet emphasis on thorough and correct, which put Henry on alert. Whatever the scheme, this would not be fun. John jerked his head toward Dr. Parks. And him? Dr. Parks smiled. I'm here to learn too and take notes. To restore a semblance of life to the dead is an idea that, well, intoxicates me. Henry raised his hand. Helen recognized him with a curt nod. You there, lounging on the rug. State your name. Henry Matthews, O wise one, and when is recess? Insolence! I shall make you crouch in the corner with a dunce cap and... Just get on with it, Dr. Parks said with a frustrated sigh. Helen dropped the bell with a loud clank. Due to the small class size, we can dispense with the usual attendance taking and move straight into... John's gaze flickered at Dr. Gothard. Is this necessary? Dr. Gothard removed his pipe, smiled slightly, and his eyes gleamed. Helen noticed and cleared his throat loudly. I am, here at the behest of Dr. Edward Gothard, who is overseeing your return to humanity. My purpose is twofold: to help you understand your current state and prepare you for the restoration yet to come. Any questions so far? Not yet. Henry yawned loudly and rolled onto his other side. Kellen snapped his fingers, and a little square, richly carved rosewood card table appeared. Hey! Henry scrambled to sit. Now he was interested. How'd you do that? The table held 5 goblets and 2 cut-glass decanters of blackish-red liquid, one with taut, supple clarity and the nauseating aroma of currants and smoke, the other heavy and mouth-watering. Bordeaux, Henry thought, sniffing hard and choking on the obnoxious scent, and of course, blood. First, we'll discuss your enhanced senses, Kellen said. Later, I'll introduce a few techniques to refine your new vampire abilities. We'll also discuss habits that give the illusion of being alive. Any questions? Henry raised his hand again. Kellen ignored him again. But I have to pee, Henry cried, squirming and clutching himself. All eyes turned to Henry, which didn't bother Henry in the least. But he did drop his hands and say fine in resignation. Kellen turned back to the group. By now, Kellen boomed out, you realize the increased acuity afforded your senses. Darkness and distance are no barriers to seeing, and the faintest of noises are as loud as shouting. Your nose teases out the most subtle of aromas for hundreds of miles, which is exquisitely attuned to blood. In fact, the taste of anything other than blood will repulse you. Any questions? Henry raised his hand, which Kellen still pretended not to see, and then Henry glanced at John. No expression. He glanced at Dr. Gothard, puffing contentedly. He glanced at Dr. Parks, pen poised, waiting for more. He lay back down and tried to ignore the smell of live human blood and his internal clamoring for it. He knew he should have eaten that grandfather too.
I gotta say, she is a one-woman industry. She just keeps cranking out these books. Yes.
Yes.
I've been Dr. Rothgard. I've been Helen Wexler in our plays, and it's just, she's amazing. She
And
really,
interesting, the title of this chapter is called A Little Wine for Your Stomach, Part 2.
oh wow.
I was going to ask you guys to do it tonight, but I didn't have the script. Where is it? I don't know. Here.
I'll look on my phone.
If there's time.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
We'll see
okay?
how it goes.
Okay. Who's next? Oh, Maureen. Come on up and tell us a little bit about yourself.
There's very little to tell. Maureen is my name, Clemens. Actually, my real name is Maureen, but, you know, Maureen is so much easier. I wasn't sure what I was going to read, and I thought I settled on a little.
Can you read it loud? Speak a little
A
louder.
little louder?
Louder,
Okay.
yeah. Louder.
I'm going to read something about my favorite season. Glorious autumn. I am enjoying the lovely waning days of autumn. I stand in the sun where the heat penetrates my shirt and warms my skin. I breathe in the smell of leaves and pine needles and dirt and smoke from fires. Leaves crunch, twigs snap under my feet as I take a step, and the song of a bird fills the silence. Winter, under its white blanket, is mute. Spring twitters. Summer is the hum of the AC and voices of children playing and dogs barking. Fall is gentle sounds of rustling leaves and whispering grass. A swirl of color as leaves dance in the wind and skitter across the road like happy children on the last day of school. Autumn is gentle, soothing, a winding down before Earth's nap time of darkened evenings wrapped in sweaters and long nights gathered under blankets. It's a time for comfort food and steaming drinks, candle glow, and gatherings of harvests and friends, and packing up and putting away, and wishing it could always be like this. I tire of the cold of winter, the mud of spring, the scorch of summer. I never tire of the glories of autumn.
Okay. Last on our list is Chloe. Is that you?
That would be me.
Okay. Come on up.
Chloe actually works at the library.
Yes. I love your journal. Where'd you get that?
I got it from Barnes & Noble.
Ah,
Discount.
awesome. That is so, oh, it's lined. Never, okay. I'm more of a blank page guy myself, but I won't hold that against you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. Come on up there and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Great. So I am not a member of WriteOn, but like Denise said before, I work at the Joliet Library on Black Road. I'm going on 12 years this December, and I write poetry. And everything I write is fairly short, so don't worry, I won't be up here very long. And this is also my first open mic night, so I'm kind of terrified.
And this is why we did not put you first.
And God bless you for that. Thank you. Okay. And none of my stuff has titles on it, so I'm just gonna jump right in. I was supposed to be somebody in my 20s. My own misconception. But instead, it was grieving ideas and versions of myself. Letting go of friendships I wanted to hold on to. My first white hairs coming in, skipping gray entirely. The love that broke me into powdered glass, moving on. Another season and another year older. 21, 25, 29. Feeling the pressure of time measured in course credits. Counting failures was easier than counting accomplishments.
You have to sit over there and you have to sit with the poets now. You earned the right to sit with the poets. Right over there.
Are you sure?
Oh my gosh, yes, because we've got time, so, anybody who wants more than one thing can read again. I say you should read 3 more.
Oh my goodness, okay. So this next poem I'm about to read, one of the things I'm sort of fascinated by, this is just kind of like a little backstory, is the concept of ghosts, not necessarily just from a supernatural standpoint, but from like more of like a metaphorical standpoint in terms of things that we carry with us. So that's kind of an ongoing theme with some of this stuff. So here's the next one. Not gone, but sometimes forgotten. Old ghosts show up in pallets of gray, moving without moving forward. But instead of throwing stones, I nod to you with softer eyes.
That was good. That was really good.
Thank you.
I wish Cindy was here. Cindy was
A passenger falls asleep, where they fell to pieces. We can't make the stars alive, and dirty points have already been pushed on. You're not invisible to me. You'll come back when you're ready.
Okay, we are going to take a little break, and after that, we'll be back for round 2. So stay tuned.